You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cricket Podcast as we begin our discussions of the final test of the 2025-6 Ashes. I'm Jack Hope. I'm joined by Ross Legg to talk about a pretty good day for England. How are you doing, Ross?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. England are rising from the ashes as a phoenix would, I would say, Jack. But unfortunately, the film is already over. So it's all kind of not for nothing, but it's not, a bit of pride.
Yeah, it basically is, as you said, a bit of pride. I mean, obviously, it still matters to everyone involved. All the players will want to get runs, want to get wickets on both sides. There's careers at stake. Yeah. World Test Championship, of course, the thing that matters most to all fans of England and Australia. But yeah,
and India. Let's not forget India on that one.
I think, yeah. But it is a dead rubber. It is a dead rubber. This is what it is. And it's only half a day's play of a dead rubber as well. So we'll get through this one pretty quick, probably. Before we do, just a reminder, click like and subscribe wherever you're listening or watching. Remember to leave a review for us on Spotify. We're trying to catch Shane Warne there. And tell all your friends. Ross, do you want to summarise the cricket?
Yes, so Ben Stokes, after saying that his team should not be insular and play for their careers in this match, won the toss and decided to bat first. England haven't particularly shone very well with the bat too often in this test series, but they opened up and it was a classic flourish of Ben Duckett and Zach Crawley racing to 35, and then Ben Duckett snicked off. It was a good catch from Alex Carey behind the stumps. And then shortly after, about kind of 5 overs later, Zach Crawley played all around a straight one. And Michael Vaughan has come out and said, England should stick with Zach Crawley, but by God, does he frustrate me, which is probably every England fan. And then Jacob Bethell, who was a little bit watchful, thought, you know what, I need to soak up a bit of pressure here. Unfortunately, I think he actually got a pretty decent ball. Ball going across him, pitching on leg stump, and just taking the outside of his bat, which again was taken by Alex Carey. But then Joe Root, Daddy Root, as he's become affectionately known on this podcast, dug in, and Harry Brook decided to be Harry Brook. And England ended up going from 57 or 50, I think it's 57 for one, to about 114 for three at lunch, and then just put the pedal down, really. England's scoring rate ticked up, and it looked like a beautiful wicket to bat on. And they have ended up 211 for three off of just 45 overs. So very much England's day. And as you said, England's half day, because only 45 overs rolled, because then the rain came in and bad light came in. So very, very disappointing on that front, as England were on top.
Yeah. There's a few things to talk about. Obviously, England have had a good day here. Brook and Root dug them out of the hole a little bit. I think 60 for three was major trouble on this pitch. So to end the day, the half day, 211 for three, puts England in a pretty good position. What I would say, Ross, and I you can agree or disagree. Not all runs in Test cricket are created equal. The 211 runs here is probably worth about 80 at the MCG. I mean that in all seriousness. So like people will be really happy with where England are from an English perspective, and if you're Australian, you'll probably be a little bit frustrated. But that was a very good pitch to bat on. And England have had the best of it. They probably shifted the dial of likely outcomes slightly in their favour, but not by as much as I think a lot of people will think. Just looking at that score, I think this game is sort of very much up for grabs, and a wicket early tomorrow probably puts it like quite firmly back in Australia's favour. In fact, actually looking at the betting market here, Australia are the favourites to win the match, even with England at 211 for three. Yeah, so a good day for England. A good day, not an all-time legendary day of amazing batting. And I've got some theories on the batting as well. What do you reckon?
Yeah, and I think what's going into those betting market figures is going to be the fact that England typically have lost wickets in clusters in this Test series, and they did so again last night or this morning, and it's a bit of a problem for England on that front. So, one typically brings three in this Test series, unfortunately. I do think that having runs on the board is always a good thing. There is still pressure on Australia to make sure that they come out of this with a 4-1 victory. There's plenty to play for on the Australian side. Obviously, Usman Khawaja is retiring, so no doubt he hits a century in this game because that typically England's kind of Make-A-Wish Foundation approach to that kind of stuff. Steve Smith will be chomping at the bit to get some runs as well. But look, England can only do what they can do. As you said, they salvaged a position from 57 for 3 to 211 for 3. Well done on that front. They've done what they needed to do. Now the trick is, can they get 450, 500 runs? And you're gonna, for that to happen, Joe Root and Harry Brook both have to go on and hit 150, like proper big daddy tons. So it's important tomorrow's play.
I mean, actually, I think England are probably fairly well equipped on this pitch to do that. In some of the other matches, it was pretty evident that their approach did not match the surface that they were playing on, or that they were getting a little bit unlucky, or that the bowling was better. In this, from what we saw yesterday, Australia's bowling is worse. This is probably the worst bowling attack of the series that Australia put out. Not necessarily just in terms of personnel, but in terms of Perth v Mitchell Stark, Sydney look like completely different prospects just in terms of control over where the ball's going. And that's obviously plays massively into the hands of the England team. And then you've got the pitch. England want to drive on the up. They've shown that the whole series, more or less. A couple of spells here and there where they've completely shut up shop and just tried to score no runs. Yesterday was a day for driving on the up. If you have a look, you only have to look at the highlights to see the number of boundaries clattered through the offside by Harry Brook and Joe Root. It wasn't a pitch where you had to worry massively about one sort of rising off a length and taking the shoulder of the bat. You could just plant your foot and swing through the line of the ball.
The Zach Crawley method
as well. The Zach Crawley method, yeah. It was one for the Zach Crawley method as well. Was it me? Or, this could be my imagination. But are the boundaries smaller at Sydney too, which probably plays into or the grass was short? I know there was talk about the length of the grass on the pitch is 5 millimeters, not 10 millimeters, or whatever. And we're seeing the benefits there. Did they cut the outfield shorter or something like that? Because the ball did seem to go to the boundary more easily than it has at some of the other venues. So everything is playing into England's most of the conditions so far do look pro England, I would say. Although Australia are favourites, England actually do have a chance, I think, of putting up the 450 or 500 you're talking about.
Yeah, it's very important that the ball does go to the boundary as often as possible because it's all for a good cause, right? So the J. McGrath Foundation, everyone's wearing pink. It's good advertising for the foundation. So there's going to be more money raised. So England Moral Ashes are actually contributing to a charity. So yeah, it's nice of what they're doing. So well done, England. Jack, on the England front, selection-wise, were you surprised to see that Shoaib Bashir wasn't included in this team? No. After being selected in that 12-man, no, not surprised at all.
No, why would they have picked him? I don't. There's probably a little bit more to this than just they don't like him anymore. He's probably not bowling well in practice. They probably looked at how the pitches have gone this whole series, with probably the exception of Adelaide, and thought the chances are this will be better for seam bowlers. I don't know whether that will be true on this particular surface. It might be better for spinners. But then they probably made a reasonable call. I think actually Rob Key said this in that kind of punditry interview he did of his own tenure. I think he said something along the lines of, I think we'd have got the same outcomes from playing Shoaib Bashir as Will Jacks. So they obviously don't rate Shoaib Bashir's bowling particularly highly. Otherwise, you wouldn't say something as ridiculous
Quite-
as we
quite
think
so
Sherpa. Yeah, you're basically saying we think he's worth about 100 for 1 on that pitch. So why, knowing all of that, would you pick him? This is my question. I know he was in the 12, but they picked such a small squad and they haven't brought anyone in for any of the injuries. Like they kind of just had to pick the. Like, if the choice was to name a 12, they had to choose one of Ollie Pope or Sherpa Bashir. You're not going to pick Pope, are you? Right. So, yeah, there's the answer. It's a very clear no. Hopefully that clears up my position on Sherpa Bashir pretty firmly.
Yeah, he's off to the glue factory in your head. That's where he's going. So overall, Jack, what did you see the game going tomorrow? England get 100?
I reckon that England. So the whole thing hinges on this partnership that's going on at the moment. I think Root and Brook are England's 2 best batters. That's not a controversial statement. That's basically a fact. The pitch is pretty good. If Australia have to bowl 25 overs to them, which is certainly on the cards, there's probably a 50-50 chance of that being the scenario, then I think England can go on and get a really big score and declare. So this could be the first series since, I think, 1986 or something like that. No, sorry, 1886 in the Ashes without a declaration. But if Root and Brook do go 20-25 overs tomorrow morning without England dropping a wicket, they'll probably score another 100 runs in that time. 300 for 4. Let's say one of them's out after they get 220 and get a bit tired. We'll let Stokes ever go. England are in really good shape. They still have Stokes and Smith and Jacks and Cast. I suppose you can throw England's former number 3 in as proper bat there.
Have you heard of that
been really good
Australians? Have you heard that it's really riled about the wrong way? Bryden Cast.
I don't know why. I can see, I can imagine that it has, but I don't know why you'd be angry at that. It's from my theoretical 330, 310, 300 for 4, England should be scratching together another 150 from their minimum, really, which puts them well in control of the game. The problem, I think, is if they lose an early wicket, we've obviously seen Stokes and Smith have big partnerships before. Like we've seen that be a thing. 4 matches into this series, it doesn't necessarily look like Stokes is playing that fluently. He's all right when he's blocking. He looks pretty good blocking, but doesn't really look like he's got scoring options nailed down at the moment. And Smith looks like he doesn't really like the bounce in Australia that much. Has been out to the short ball quite a number of times. That might be negated a little bit by the Sydney pitch probably not being as bouncy as we've seen.
We saw Harry Brook being able to take something on. He was almost out.
Yeah.
That, but literally was able to hit the ball 4-6, unlike some of the other grounds where it was too far for him.
But if I propose to you that England lose a wicket in the first over tomorrow, which happens all the time, 200 for 4, what do you think they can score from that position?
I mean, if England end up getting 375, you're taking that probably if that happens in the first
and this thing. Is what I mean. It's this partnership is big for England. Like they are England. They're the 2 best batters that England have got. Root on the maybe not the down low, so you can just look up the numbers. Actually, having a pretty decent series by the standards of all the other batters in the series. Like it's sort of Travis Head and then Joe Root. And Carey's in the mix as well as the people who have actually scored runs on either team. It's been pretty hard going batting wise. So he's looking decent. Brook maybe needs a ton here to make the series, or to achieve like the 7 out of 10 pass mark, 6 out of 10 pass mark for the series. Brook probably needs a ton, so they do need to knuckle down. I mean,
he doesn't want a monkey on his back, does he? He's not hit an Ashes century. Yeah, he doesn't want that Joe Root.
Yeah, that's true. So. Yeah. So yeah, like I think you've called low end 350 all out is on. 300 all out is on this England. But if the two of them do get through the first 20 overs, first 10, 15 overs even, then suddenly the potential England score shoots up quite high. And if you look at the weather over the last 4 days of the test, it looks like it should be good. And they should be able to, well, they shouldn't be off for rain, except for the odd shower maybe here and there for the rest of the test. And they might even catch up. I doubt it. The over rates are so slow. They bowled 15 overs in the first hour and a half of the day, which is just like astonishingly slow. And I think that's a real problem.
Yeah, why the umpires aren't stepping in that position to be just like, lads, right, this is what we're doing. And that's why the whole fining people doesn't particularly work. Like, there needs to be in-game punishments or in-innings punishments for slow over rates, in my view.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I like. Sometimes I think this conversation is completely pointless. But like, you're talking about one ball a minute. There's like basically no cricket is happening if you're bowling one ball a minute. You're supposed to. What does it work out at? It's like one ball every 40 seconds, or if you are hitting the correct over rate, if you average it out. One ball a minute is, that's add up all those 20 seconds. What's 20 times 60, Ross? You should know that off the top of your head, shouldn't you?
What, 3,000?
Yeah, it's a bunch of it's 3,000 minutes. No, it's a bunch of wasted time that is just in the game for no reason. Like we don't need to accept one ball a minute as the pace of play because it's hot or because of this or because of that. Like, it's perfectly possible to get through overs a little bit quicker than that. So they won't catch up any of the rain delay stuff, but they will play longer days. So they probably will play 90 overs a day for the remaining 4 days. So yeah, England gets some runs. Maybe they'll win the test match. Maybe they won't. That's the summary. Heroes and villains, Ross. Who's the hero of the day?
I'm going to give it to Harry Brook today. I think he batted particularly well, and it's nice to see him hit runs. It was also my shout for being the top run scorer in this Ashes series, and there is very much a double century on the cards if he actually puts his mind to it. So go on, Harry.
It's okay. Nailed on for a double ton, Harry Brook. Who was the hero? It wasn't really a heroic day, I would say.
No.
It's a very normal day of Test cricket. I mean, I said it as the sort of first thing after the summary. 211 for 3 is basically 15 runs more than an average team would achieve for the exact same number of wickets in this scenario. Maybe 30 runs more. It was really flat. It was half a day's cricket. It's the first day average at Sydney is 55. It's run time. Hero, maybe Stokes for winning the toss. Bearing that all in mind, like the coin. I'll give the hero of the day the coin for landing the right way.
I like it.
Do you want to go for villain?
I'm going to speak from an Australia fan's perspective and a KKR fan's perspective. What is going on with Cameron Green?
Was he ever good in the first place?
I think he was pretty good. Yeah, I think he was pretty good. Had that series against India where he was pretty good, but
I think it's a fair shout for villain. His bowling was trash.
He's good at sevens. Like, come on! Like,
no, I'm not defending him.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that to me, it's a little bit of a strange narrative that's built up around Cameron Green that he is good. I think leave white ball cricket out of this for a second, because I think there's far more promising signs, especially with the bat in white ball cricket, that he is good. Just looking at his T20 numbers here, internationals averages 32, strikes at 160. In domestic cricket, averages 33, strikes at 151. Good numbers. You're happy with that?
Yeah.
You're happy with that if you're anyone in the world. And then any overs he bowls on top of that, which don't tend to be very good, but any overs he can bowl on top of that are a bonus, a nice option to have as a captain. Test cricket, let's dive into this. Would you say a batter averages 32 is good, or a player who maybe should be dropped?
Well, if I'm going on the England scale, so actually that's a pretty good average for England. So he's in the team.
It is, but only if he opens. Like if you don't open, that's not a good average. Like, but it's a lower average than Ollie Pope has achieved. It's only better than Zach Crawley. So basically, unless Cameron Green was Zach Crawley or playing the Zach Crawley role, you wouldn't be happy with him. I mean, we're not happy with Zach Crawley, really, are we? It's just you just have to suffer it now. Like,
It is what it is. It's like a family member you don't want to come to a Christmas event.
It's not. I don't think so. He's nice. He's fun to have around. He is fun to have around. He just like the people have family members, don't they, who are fun to be around, but like don't obviously have a job. Like there's no meaningful source of income that they're basically a drain on resources. Like the 25-year-old son left university and like it has been trying to float a tech startup oriented around selling JPEGs of rubber ducks.
Should be good
for the last 5 years. It's that's who Cameron Green is. That's who Zach Crawley is with the bat. They've shown promise. They got through university.
If Max had bothered to wake up for this podcast, which he hasn't, just rumors on the room. He'd say that'd be a quacking business idea. That's what Max would have said. So salute to you, Max.
There we go. Yeah. But they're not. And then his bowling average to complete this averages 36. 38 wickets in 38 wickets in 36 matches. So he averages 1 wicket a match, 36 and a half. You can argue that the combination of those is a fine enough player to have in your team, but it's not great. Like you have to be asking questions about that. So yeah, I'll double down. I've had a whole piece on Cameron Green here. Why not? He's the villain. Rubbish. Guys, the guy is rubbish. I think there's a chance he gets better. Like he does seem to have all of the skills that you would need to be better. But he barely bowls, barely takes wickets when he does bowl, and doesn't really score runs with the bat. So you do have to look at that combination of things and be like, well, what are you here for? Like you can't just be good in the gully. That can't just be all you do.
It's got a niche skill set. Why are you in the Australia team? Because I catch the ball pretty well at gully. Oh, okay. All right. I look forward to there's a Cameron Green century loading in this test match now.
Maybe it's the sort of wicket he would thrive on. It is the sort of wicket where what he does works quite well. So it's certainly possible that
Mitch Marsh should be good on this ground.
Yeah. So I'm not ruling out. I'm not saying he's awful. The T20 numbers alone should tell you that there's a guy who can bat properly, can score properly in him. He just hasn't done it really consistently in Test cricket. And his bowling, as you pointed out, is absolute. I can't see that ever really getting any better. I don't think he'll be able to work on it enough. I think it's too injury prone.
On the pitch today, it didn't really seem too much other than the lacquer went off around kind of the 5-6 over mark. It swung for a bit, moved for a bit, 3 wickets fell, and then it kind of died out. And so, there's a little bit of conditions to play into it, but fair enough. So Cameron Green is the villain, Harry Brook is the hero, and the coin is the hero for today's play.
And that's the end of the podcast. Thanks very much for listening and watching, everyone. Do remember to click like and subscribe. We'll be back to recap tomorrow's play, maybe a little bit earlier than today. Goodbye.